Okay. Hello, everybody. Sorry for being late. We had some small technical issues. Okay. Can you hear me? Okay, good. Okay, nice to have you here. This is a Teams phone system presentation to give you an overview of what is phone system, how can you move to the phone system, and how can you extend phone system functionality from what Microsoft provides with third-party options and integrations, okay? Which is something that, of course, we as Yoda do. I'm Francisco, CTO of Yoda Tech, part of the SteamTech group, okay? And we are specialized in voice infrastructures and Teams phone system solutions integrated with legacy PBXs, migration from legacy PBXs, or third-party integrations, okay, basically. Okay, good. So what is Teams phone? Hope this works. Does it? Sorry. Meglio. Okay, thanks for that. So what is Teams phone? Teams phone is basically an add-on solution to Teams that Microsoft developed for enabling expanded communication and voice solution on Teams. So basically, you can add phone system PBX functionality to Microsoft Teams without disrupting the user experience. So you can have the phone, your business phone within Microsoft Teams, okay? Basically. So phone system provides call control and full PBX capabilities in the Microsoft Cloud with Teams, allowing you to replace your current PBX solution and, of course, integrating with other Office 365 apps. One benefit of Teams phone is that you can actually use it on your PC, or you can have a number of devices connected to it, as happens with other Microsoft solutions, okay? You can use your laptop, you can use mobile devices, you can use IP phones specifically built for Teams, okay? Or third-party IP phones. We'll see some of that later. You can move. Thanks. So what are the key phone system features, okay? The features that Microsoft provides as part of the phone system solution itself, okay? So you can have basic call handling, which means call forward, incoming, outgoing call, okay? Call forward, transfer, SIM ring, shared lines, forwarding masking, and such, okay? You can see all of them here. You can, I would like to point out some of the features that you might be used to when you're coming from a legacy PBX solution. For example, short digit dialing is something that you might be used to in your current PBX solution, where you dial a short number to reach your colleague in the other room, or in the building, or in the building in another city. You know, you can still with Teams. This is kind of obsolete. You know, becomes kind of obsolete because you usually search for someone with a name and do a click to call there. But you can still have, for people who are being used to short digit dial, you can still have dial like 341 and call your colleague, okay, for example. Emergency calling, okay, as well. So I can have, I can do emergency call based on my location and change the outgoing calling number based on my location. What else? More interesting is our auto attendance, call queues, and call delegation, which basically are auto attendance are IVRs that welcome the caller and direct them to the current the correct office. Okay, either via DTMF, so pressing keys, or via voice input. Okay, then you can have call queues, which are mainly group calling for offices or departments, and call delegation, which is basically the base technology that enables like boss admin interaction with a boss, having a secretary taking his calls or calling on his or her behalf. Okay. And of course, as we were saying, multi-device support with Windows, Mac, mobile devices being supported, as well as we were saying earlier, Teams certified IP phones or SIP compatible IP phones. We will see that later as well. Okay. Say. Okay, so basically, this is all good. I mean, this is kind of basic PBX functionality you would expect from any PBX, right? From any telephony solution. But in the telephony environment, you have much diverse scenarios and use cases which are not really covered by a basic solution. And up to now, Teams phone wasn't really ready maybe for all scenarios, but as the product matured and third-party solutions have come into play, you can now actually cover much more scenarios than you could before. So these are some of the scenarios that can be phone system can be extended with. So one example is attendant console for switchboard operators taking calls from like the headquarters of a company, you know, and they need to forward the call quickly, search quickly for users, have a history of user, chat them within the same panel, okay? And maybe some of these operators might be also visually impaired, because this is a use case that is quite common also in Italy, where we have strict regulation where you have to have some people, visually impaired people in the company, and usually they are doing this job. So you can have this on Teams as well, okay, with third-party solution. And it works with standard voice recognition and software like voice and text-to-speech software like JAWS or Dolphin. Okay. What else? Contact center is a very particular scenario where it is a telephony infrastructure, but it's very, very particular in a way that you have agents that need to answer the call quickly, you have skill-based routing where you have to distribute the calls to the most skilled agent. You have after call work, you need supervision by supervisor, listening to the call, barging in, and managing the workflows. Okay, so contact center solution with Teams are now quite mature, and they can really adapt to big businesses. We have several customers with contact center solution and working quite nicely. And last but not least, something we will see later, CRM integration, which is very, very important for contact centers. Okay, you can extend Teams phone as with voice and chatbots. Okay, this is also good for integrating the contact center solution itself. Okay, so voice bots directing the customer to a specific to a specific. Thank you. To a specific operator or office. What else? Certified wireless phones. So this is particularly useful for industries where businesses in industries where you have plants or production lines, okay, where it is not really practical to have a wired phone, or people need to move quite often back and forth. Up to now, PBX solution used to go with DEC solution, with DEC wireless phones. These are now also available for Teams. They are certified. They do work very well. And Teams also provides Wi-Fi, the Wi-Fi option for some scenarios, okay? Last but not least, analog device support. In some environments, you still need analog devices to comply with local regulations, to provide emergency devices that can function even without electricity, you know. So analog device support is there in Teams as well, either integrated with Teams or directly with third-party vendors through SBCs who are connected to the SBCs. Okay. Also very important to administrators is end-to-end call quality monitoring and reporting. So basically, Microsoft provides reporting and call quality details for Teams calls, both for internal Teams calls and meetings and for PSTN calls. But external solutions also complement this with data from the PSTN, data from SBCs connected to Teams, and this provides a merged, call flow where you can visualize where the problem was, if there was packet loss, jitter, what else? Latency on a specific portion of the network. I'm not sure what's presenting right now, but in any case, this also extends to devices. So with monitoring solution, you can monitor up to the single device, the single Teams client, single IP phone, or meeting room if that's needed. Okay. Not seeing the presentation anymore. Paco, you can go on to the next slide. So this was just to show you that, okay, Teams phone can be really applied to different use cases and scenarios and can be really ready for business, okay? Okay, so now that we're seeing what are the features of Teams phone, what are the architectures? So how can I connect my Teams, okay, to the PSTN network, to the telephony line, okay? So basically there are three main options certified by Microsoft. So one being calling plan, the second one being operator connect, and the third one direct routing. So basically calling plan means you buy a license from Microsoft. Microsoft becomes your telco operator. They provide the telephony connection to the telephone network, and they provide the numbers as well, okay? You can port your numbers from your current solution, okay, your own numbers, but you cannot integrate that with any existing system or external third-party solution. At least not those that are integrated directly into these, but okay. So basically, this is very an easy option, but a costly one. As you can see, we here I try to showcase what are the benefits and the disadvantages of each solution. Okay, so as I was saying, calling plan are really easy to set up, okay, but are really costly, okay? So it's not an economic solution. Next is Operator Connect, which basically decouples the PSTN part from Teams. So you still have Teams, you have still manage the users and the numbers within Teams, but you have your operator that is as passed through a certification program, which allows them to be connected directly to the Teams, okay? And this enables them to provide you with the numbers directly from Teams. So you still manage the numbers in Teams Admin Center, and the operator just manages the connection to the PSTN. But it is an offer you can pick directly from the Teams Admin Center, okay? Quite easy as well. Usually a little bit more economic than calling plan. Slightly enhance the flexibility because the operator might provide some options to integrate with other systems, but it's not really that flexible, okay? Because you're not really in control of your environment, okay? So last is direct routing, which is the most flexible of the three options. And basically, this includes using a device called Session Border Controller, which is your own device, usually, because this has to be placed on premise, usually. Of course, there's one device to be managed, but it enables you to connect to third-party voice equipment you might have, like analog lines, and other solutions you might have on-prem. And you can choose your own operator. So you have the flexibility to switch operators wherever you want. In this solution, you are kind of locked in, you know? So this will be slightly cheaper, okay, because you can adapt it to your needs, but it's also provide the most flexibility, the best flexibility, okay. The connection is not that good, probably. Okay, so what you have to do to move to Teams Phone, basically, this is the overall approach that we take for moving a company from legacy PBX to Teams Phone. So basically, you have to prepare your network, make sure your network is good, and access to Teams is within the Microsoft specified latencies and packet loss limits. You have to assess the current telephony environment because you have to map what you currently have with what you really need to do on Teams Phone system. So you have to define the use cases for telephony, okay? Boss, secretary, IVRs, auto attendants, whatever. Then you have find pilot user for inserting them early into the adoption program, perform user acceptance testing with them, and then after you have retrieved their feedback, you can then with a pilot rollout, you can plan the production rollout a schedule one, a gradual one with a direct routing solution, okay? Basically, these are the overall steps. You can move on. Tic tac, tic. You can you can do some moves while we wait. No? Okay, you can okay. Okay, there are some animations here in this slide, but basically okay. Okay, thank you. So basically, once your SBC is connected to the PSTN, to your provider of choice, you can then, and connected, of course, to Microsoft, you can then connect it to your current PBX solution or third-party solution that you have on-prem and gradually move to Teams, okay? Enable you to progressively move the users even one by one or in batches, and then get rid completely of your PBX environment, okay, at your own pace. Okay, let's wait for the slides. A bit of latency. Let me quickly check the slides. Okay. I remember. Okay. Some issues with the connection. Was Apostle. Okay, so basically, I'll anticipate the slides for you. So basically, what I told you here, what I showed you here about the gradual migration to Teams can also be achieved easily. Can be thought of. You can think of it's quite difficult to achieve because you have to configure Teams, you have to switch the number, the routing of the number from the PBX to Teams. Okay, but you can easily. We are aware of the challenges in this environment, so we developed our own solution to enable you to quickly move to Teams independently. So basically, it's a web application that connects to the SBC and enables you to retrieve your user accounts from Office 365, detects if the user has been migrated to Teams already or not, and here we are. And basically, it enables you to migrate each user, even a single one, or in batches, of course, to Teams at your own pace. And if any issue arises, you can move it back, move the user back on a per user basis. Okay, so and migration batches can be scheduled or run immediately. You have complete control of the migration in a very, very easy fashion. Okay, basically. So this is something whenever you want, you can try because we are available in our demo room as well. Okay, what's next? No, the context è finito. Okay, and in this case, you see we have an Audicos SBC, which is connected to our environment. Okay, one of the last slide, I promise. So the contact center use case, we talked about it briefly earlier with the CRM integration. So basically, one of the challenges for contact center is for the agents answering the call from the customer to retrieve information quickly, to have information readily available from the current CRM solution, and be able to answer and check maybe the previous cases the customer had, the issues, and be able to respond them accordingly. So basically, Teams Contact Center solution, these are real use cases we did with some customers, okay? Can be integrated with your current CRM Salesforce, Dynamics, whatever. Okay, to do some of the stuff you can see here. So retrieve customer data for incoming call in open customer contact card. So basically, when the call comes in, the agent answers the call. A pop-ups come with the customer information. So from the CRM, so you know who you are talking to already, and you can see it from the contact card their history. Then another case would be to implement priority routing. So maybe not really good to know, good to say, but maybe there are some customers which have priority lanes over other ones. Okay, so whenever they get into the queue, I want some customers to have priority over some others. You know, so based on the information from CRM, I can choose to prioritize some customers versus others. Or other task, create a phone call task. So when I pick up the call for the customer, I can see who the customer is. I can have the CRM automatically insert a phone call task, and I can directly input notes into that. Okay, very, very easy. Or create a callback task if the customer has been waiting for too long in the queue. You can tell them to choose to, okay, if you want to call back, just press 1. Well, we can record that and have the customer be called back at specific slots. You can propose them, okay? Or last but not least, open an incident, for example, in ServiceNow for a contact center, for a help desk, where you receive calls for issues, okay? You can start an incoming call. You answer an incoming call. You can choose to open up an incident in ServiceNow directly, okay? Automatically. Okay, basically these are some of the capabilities of the contact center that might be, of course, in other contact centers, but Teams now is enabled for that as well. Okay, so that's it. I think we don't have any more time, right? So basically, the last slide would be when it will show would be that, okay, again, the wrap up is Teams of a mature phone system solution enabled for many scenarios. We can design the scenario you need if you have a special need, because with the third-party system, it can enable what we call communication-enabled business processes. And of course, this is something that we do every day, so it's our main business. Okay, so thank you for joining. Sorry for the technical difficulties, and thanks for staying. Okay, if you need any more info, in the last slide, when it will come, there will be my details. Okay, thank you for joining. See you.